News Radio 840, WHAS. Tony and Dwight been excited about this for days, and he's finally here. Scott Gorham, how you doing, man?
Cool, man. How are you, Dwight? How's everything?
Doing great. The new record, Black Star Riders, that you guys put out, it's so good. Now, I want to talk about that, but first I want to go back to the very beginning, even before Thin Lizzy, because here's the story I heard on you, and I want to know if it's true. When you were young, 12, 13 years old, you're playing bass, you're proficient, you're really good, but the band you're in, the lead guitar player tragically dies in a motorcycle accident, and you decide right then and there, I'm going to drop bass, I'm going to pick up guitar, in memory of my friend, I'm going to go and achieve where I think he would have went had he not passed. Is there any truth to that story?
There's a lot of truth to that story. The young man we're talking about, his name was Steve Schrage. Up to that point, he was absolutely the best musician any of us had ever seen. I think he'd gone through like 3 guitar teachers, and they couldn't teach him anymore. And yes, unfortunately, he tragically died in a motorcycle accident. And I was really good friends with his father, Frank. Frank knew that I wanted to go over to guitar at some point, and he gave me one of his guitars, and I've still got that guitar today, and that was probably back in 1968 or something like that. And that's a guitar I will never let out of my sight. It will never be sold because it just has too much meaning for me.
Well, from there you went on, and a buddy of yours or an in-law or somebody, and if I'm getting any of this wrong, correct me by all means, Scott, says, hey, go on over to England, not L.A., not New York. For some reason, you go to England to try to make it, and you wind up with Thin Lizzy. How did that come to pass?
Well, yeah, it's the in-law you're talking about is he was at the time my brother-in-law and my best friend. His name was Bobby Siebenberg, and he had just joined the group Supertramp.
Oh wow!
As their drummer, yeah, and he had to come over and stay with me for a couple of weeks so he could go back to England and get re-stamped for another 6 months visa. Right, that's how it kind of worked back then.
Sure,
but. In this 2-week visit, he showed me this is how far back it went. He showed me a cassette of the demos for the new Supertramp album, which sounded incredible. And he said, I think I might be able to get you in this band if you could get to England. And that right there was my kind of sole purpose in life, was trying to get up enough money to get that plane tickets in a short space of time so I could get to England and hopefully have a chance of getting into Supertramp. And, of course, it took me too long. And when I got there, Roger Hodgson, who was the singer-songwriter, guitar player / keyboard player, decided he was going to do the guitar. So that was out of the picture now. But, I started my own band in London, a little pub band, and where I met another Irish guy who told me about this thing that I'd never heard of, this band called Thin Lizzy, and did I want to go down and have an audition or a jam or whatever? And I figured I had 30 more days to go on my visa, and then I had to get back on the plane to go back to America, a total failure.
Wow.
But I went down and I met Phil, who turned out to be a great guy, and we got on amazingly well. He asked me to join the band that night, actually. I got back to this flat that I was staying in. He called me up and asked me to join the band, and that was 1974, and guess what? I'm still here for some reason.
No, listen, and the new band, well, it's been around, 2012, Black Star Riders, I think. It's fantastic. And the new album, Another State of Grace, I've been listening to it. I can't get enough of it, man. I know it's a totally different project, but in my opinion, it is reminiscent of Thin Lizzy. It's got certain cadence. I've even heard in the title track, Another State of Grace, there's this, it's a guitar run that's almost like an Irish, almost like an emerald, something like that. It's a great record, man.
Yeah, obviously, there's going to be echoes of that. I mean, people are going to hear different things that we all do. But Another State of Grace, the actual title track itself, it is a definite nod towards Ireland. We've done that on every Black Star Riders album. A lot of that is because we just flat out, love the way the Irish think about things musically, right?
Sure.
They're amazing musicians. But also because Ricky Warwick himself is Irish, full blown Irish. He was born and raised in Belfast, Ireland. I'm half Irish myself. I spent so much time in Ireland with Phil and Thin Lizzy that it's kind of hard not to write, in the Irish way, with the Irish tones and all that. But both Ricky and I are really, I wouldn't say hooked on the whole, Irish cadence and all that, right? But we just so dearly love it, and the country itself. That's what we do, is we, give a nod to Ireland for everything they've given us in the past. But yeah, I suppose there are moments in the album that it will echo Thin Lizzy a bit. I mean, I think Ricky kind of blames me for that because
it's not
Lizzy for such a long time, right? But,
it's not a bad thing, man.
I loved being in Thin Lizzy. I think what we did was actually pretty cool. So if people want to compare us a little bit to that, I'm fine with that.
No, absolutely. And Ricky's vocals on this record is great. And listen, I had the pleasure of seeing you guys on a triple bill with Saxon and Judas Priest in Arizona. And this band live is phenomenal. I ran when this record came out. I ran and I said, where are they coming in the U.S. to support this record? I can only find dates overseas. Is there any plans of coming to America?
Well, yeah, I've been talking about this for a while now. Yes, in October we started our UK tour, and then we jump over to Europe, and we're there for 7 weeks. And this is my kind of hopes and prayers that while we're out doing this, they are going to find a tour for us to get onto in America to kind of spread our wings out there. I imagine that when you saw us with Judas Priest, you were probably going, "Who are these guys? I've never heard of these guys before." Am I right?
Yes, but then after I put two and two together, I knew exactly what was going on, and you guys crushed it. Well, you did sing "Jailbreak," and all offense, you sang that in there. So, but listen, I know we're out of time, but Scott, listen, thank you for keeping on, because the new project and the new album is fantastic. I know you're not on tour in the U.S., but I wanted you on to talk about this new record because I loved it so much. Thank you for taking the time, brother.
Well, Dwight, I really thank you so much for the support, and anybody in America there that are supporting Black Star Riders. I so appreciate that, and hopefully we will be getting over to America so we can show you what we do.
No,
so
fantastic.
We'll see you then.
I've seen it in person. Thank you, Scott. Have a great day, man.